Cradle to Cradle is an example of a piece of a value proposition that might be effective with a very specific member of the buying center, but kids, especially y'all's age, no disrespect, y'all smart. Kids y'all's age, y'all love to grasp a hold of features like Cradle to Cradle. If you listed 100 features of Shaw products in order of importance, what number would Cradle to Cradle be? 107 out of 100. But it's cool and it's sustainable and green. The only green people care about is what? Okay. So let's not, one of these little side things that Joe taught you, okay, is don't get enamored. A feature is only important if the customer thinks it's important. Okay? Now, if the customer thinks, if you're talking to the head of the PTA, if you're talking to the head of the PTA, you're talking about her, him or her, and all the children, and how, you know what I'm saying? It's recyclable, and it's the next generation. She might rank, he or she in the PTA might rank Cradle to Cradle 90th instead of 107th. But, you know, okay, I didn't mean to digress, but, so you know what features are. What's the benefit? What the feature can do for you. So what effect potentially the feature has? What you know, sort of the next level manifestation of the feature. Okay. What I want to begin to get you guys to understand is features and benefits are very singular and very transactional. And when you start to sell using features and benefits, you're finding yourself listing things. Here are all the features and here are the benefits that go with the features. And in most cases, sales interactions that are the most effective aren't that choppy. They don't go feature, benefit, feature, benefit. What we want to try to teach you a little bit today is how to take a look at a value proposition that is rooted in outcomes and processes, not features and benefits. Now, processes are going to look a lot like processes are going to look a lot like what your understanding of feature is, and outcomes are going to look a lot like what your understanding of benefit is. That's why it's awesome to teach this to brand new people, fresh people, because y'all get to start from scratch with processes and outcomes instead of features and benefits, okay? So I'm going to walk you through a value proposition includes the following 4 things. It includes an outcome or outcomes, a process or processes, tools, and questions. So I'm going to take a few minutes to walk you through it. It's not that long. Give you some examples, and then we're going to ask you guys coming out of the break to work on a value proposition for this particular scenario, okay? All right, so let's talk about outcomes. An outcome is that effect. What effect the offering has on the customer. What effect the offer has on the customer. Okay? Now, it's the what of a value proposition. The good news is we can move through this fairly quickly because you guys did a lot of this. Outcomes are tied to the goal of the member of the buying center. Okay? An outcome is tied to the goal of the member of the buying center. I'll put some very basic, very general outcomes up on the screen. Profit growth, cost savings, revenue increases, cost increase, productivity, very tangible things. Tangible outcomes. People are driven by outcomes. They make decisions based upon an outcome. And one of the key things that a salesperson can learn how to do is you sit across from an individual or a group and you make them understand the outcome that will occur by doing business with Shaw. The way we're going to teach you how to deliver a value proposition is not feature, 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 and then the benefit. I'm not going to teach you how to do it as far as delivering all the features and then give somebody the benefit. We're going to teach you right out of the gate the correct way, the most impactful and informing and convincing way to deliver a value proposition is give them the outcome first. Tell them what doing business with Shaw on this project will do for them specifically. And then we're going to tell them how to do it. So at the most basic level, if I can get you to understand this, a value proposition is nothing more than what choosing Shaw will do for the individual in the company, and then how we're going to do it. What and then how. The process is how. Now, we talked earlier, and I want you to, y'all follow me here. We talked earlier about trust, about needing to have a trusting relationship with a salesperson. The trust comes from the process. Y'all have all had an experience in your life with a salesperson who's been a very claimy salesperson. make claims about what they can do, but they can't back it up, right? Being able to back up your outcome is important. And we're going to do a couple of examples here in a minute. Okay, now, the third piece of this value proposition. We'll go into examples that help you learn it. The third piece of the value proposition that goes with outcome and process are tools. I use tools to illustrate and evidence the process. So if I'm literally delivering, I don't want to get too far ahead, but if I'm delivering a value proposition, I'm going to start by telling the customer what the outcome is. I'm going to back that outcome up by describing a process that will create the outcome. And I use tools to illustrate or evidence that process. Tools are all examples of all those things up on the screen. Probably the most tangible and most simple and basic tool you're going to use over and over and over and over and over for a long time are samples. Right? Product specs, demonstrations of our products, videos with content and details about the products, right? Websites they can go to learn more information about our portfolio of pack craft options, right? Testimonials provided to us by other schools that have utilized our products, right? These are all tools that back up or evidence the process we're giving. Now, a value proposition is nothing more than what the product will do for you and how it will do that with the tools to illustrate it. So let's go back to our buying center. Let's pick out somebody in the buying center. I like the Stevens thing. We're meeting with Stevens. Why don't we build a value proposition for Stevens? Okay? Let's build a value proposition for Stevens.